you haven't seen for a while. Yeah, need to get a hold of Rockin' Robbie. Yeah, that dark spot on that left-hand side one. I think that's where the zipper is. I was texting him a while back, and he knows where there might be a set of 20.8 38s, but they're on a little smaller machine, probably a different hole pattern. Yeah, I have ways to overcome that. And it's also just down the valley from me. My first thing was, what is it? What kind of shape is it in? Is it a runner or what? And he says, well, the cab's burnt off. So, I don't know. I haven't heard from Robbie. He was going to get a hold of the guy and find out. Not like I got any money to spend at the moment. Thank you, COVID, and thank you, Mother Nature, for leaving our crops in the field. What I wanted to show you this morning, this one hasn't had a lid on it. And there's a wee hole right there in that stack, and you can see where critters have been running over to that hole, and another wee hole there. That one could be big enough for rats, maybe. They got to kind of squeeze through. I know there's mice up here. I haven't seen any rats up here. No sign of them up here. I did find a mouse in that one this morning. But here's what I saw this morning that interested me. That wasn't there yesterday.
They're finally getting into it.
No, they've been into it, kid.
Oh, they have.
Yes. And the pile, if we can get a good shot to see the pile they actually drug out. See the shadow there? All that came from right there. It's like, huh. I haven't seen any sign of other than, I know the birds have been in here. They've made a mess. If you can see it in this bale or not. This whole bale's full of it. And I know they've knocked some down in there. Dogs have been enjoying eating it. So, oh yeah, and guess who gets here? Obviously rubbed up coming in here.
Yeah.
She gets here, walks in the shop and says, oh, Maury just called me. He's got to move 8 pieces of equipment today and would like some help.
Easier with 2 people than 1.
So, this will be the second day in a row that...
I was here yesterday.
Oh, yeah, that's right. She was here yesterday.
Yes.
Woohoo!
Not that.
One day out of the week. Mark that on the calendar. She was here for the 1st of October.
So Boogie's car.
And
Fan was on the entire time.
Yeah.
And it said no AC.
And if you notice, oh, you can't see it, damn it. Yeah, the Mighty Tahoe is back here again. Number 2 texted me this morning. She went in on her way to work. She passed work because work is halfway between here in town. She went to town to Dutch Brothers to get herself a coffee this morning. And she called, or actually she texted me. She didn't have to call me. And she says, I was in the drive-up window when the little window on the dash that tells you what's going on with your car popped up. Engine too hot. AC turned off. Yeah. So, okay. Letting the computer reset. Obviously reset. Till this morning. She said it was fine till she got sitting there in the drive-up. So with all the readings I've done and all the readings that Ron's done, he watched a few videos too. I didn't watch any videos on it. Our next step is going to be put a good thermostat back in it because the one that's in it's the one I punched out. But I'm going to pop a couple of holes in it so it has a chance to flow water and hopefully keep it cooler like it should. I mean, the part I have a hard time understanding, engineers, they're engineers. They write it on paper and say make it work. Oh yeah, by the way, we were going to get the bulls off this morning and put everybody in one group. Yeah, I ain't doing that by myself. The engineers make things look great on paper sometimes. Keyword sometimes. And she thinks there's a mouse down here. I don't see one. She's sure it's there. I don't see it. She always thinks there's a mouse down there. All right, back to the engineers. These younger engineers, of course, you know me, God, by now, the one that designed that's probably my age or older. They don't work on anything. They generally don't even see what it is. They just do the drawing and say, here, make it happen. The old school stuff. Thermostat was on top. It was next to where the temperature is sensed. And when it opened up, it was the hot water flowing through the thermostat until it cooled off enough. This thing, the thermostat, is in the lower hose. So the water going into the thermostat through it into the water pump is coming out of the radiator. Your radiator water should be your coldest water. So as soon as the thermostat opens, it opens it. See, this one we tested, it opens at 203 to 208 right in there. You know, hard to see exactly when, but right in there. Okay, well, the wax cylinder that opens and closes that is on the water pump side, which is the hot side. When that water right there gets to that temperature, it opens it up. Well, it closes not much below that. So you got cold water coming from the radiator and it's flowing all the way around that. It doesn't have a chance to mix with the hot water. So now you have cold water shutting it off right away. This is what makes no sense in my mind. Obviously it works. I mean, on that one, it's worked for 250,000 plus miles. On number one's old one, yeah, it worked for, well, it was still working when it left, when she traded it off, but you know, it had just as many miles on it. So I don't know. I don't get it. You know, Rick says, oh, blown head gasket. You know, it could be. Could be something going on there. I'm not going to say it's not. We've pressure tested it. We've vacuum tested it. Pretty much done everything. It's not blowing any water out at all. Water is just as full now as it was when we filled it. Every time it's been just as full. Unless we got it to burp, and we've kind of ended up doing that with the vacuum. After it's been filled up, vacuum it again and make more room. I don't know. This last time it actually vacuumed out way better with that punched out thermostat, because it actually let it. We didn't add a drop of water to it afterwards, and it's still clear full. So I don't know. Anyway, that's on today's schedule. When it cools off, we'll take care of that. But I'm not going to go grab it right now, because even though the gauge says it's at dead zero, I know it's at about town and back this morning, which was like an hour ago, and number one swapped my pickup out for her this morning, so she's got something to drive home. It's 180 or so, I suppose, maybe a little lower. Still, I'm not going to go grab a hold of it at that. I got other things I can do to keep my fingers from freezing this morning. It ain't freezing, but we're in the mid-40s this morning, and obviously foggy again. All right. Man, that's going on 9 minutes for you. And I ain't even showing you nothing other than the backside of a Versatile and some fog. Even though you can't see the fog because it's just bright enough, but there's like 2 cows laying right outside there and another cow loving on her calf. And yeah, you can't see it. Figures. Geez, can you believe this? We just cleaned this barn. Like just a couple days ago. Look at that. These heavy spots are like 6 or 8 inches deep. No matter what you do, you can't step without stepping in it. And pretty well clean that bale up. What do you think? Pretty well clean this bale up too. And the other feeder's bare concrete under it. Yeah, they should have got some hay yesterday, but by the time we got done and number one had to go home and help Maury work on a truck, I wasn't going to do it by myself last night that late, so I get to do it by myself today. It isn't bad because they're all out shut the gate, drop these 3 in, and open the gate over here to get to the other feeder. That one I got to cut when I drop it in, but then I can go park the tractor and come back and cut these others, close stuff up. Works for me.